In today's video, you're going to get to see a beautiful 1967 Firebird. Hello everybody and welcome to Classic Car ChitChat. My name is Kevin. Today I have the pleasure of introducing you to a gentleman. His name is Don. Don owns a gorgeous 1967 Firebird. This car is absolutely stunning. His mom actually bought this car and it's been in his family since the day she was purchased. It is absolutely one of the most beautiful Firebirds you'll see out there. It's been well taken care of. It's even had some resto mods done, including an engine upgrade as well as disc brakes. Don also happens to be a friend of Roy's Man Cave. So actually collectively they own the Man Cave and they have all those beautiful items collected in there. So without further ado, let's hop in, let's go for a drive, and let's check out this beautiful 1967. Okay, Don,
yeah.
Rev the engine for me, sir. And can you honk the horn? Beautiful. Turn her off. Come on out. All right. This is gorgeous. You know what? She's prettier than mine, and I don't like doing videos with people that have nicer cars than me. But anyway, tell me what you have here, sir.
Have a 1967 Firebird Convertible that my mother bought new in May 1967 from Old Mill Pontiac.
So a Toronto car, hey? Wow.
It was one of the first two that they received when Firebirds were introduced.
Was she a car girl, your mom?
Oh yes.
Yes.
She was a NASCAR fan.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for her. How old were you at the time?
I was 21.
21.
And if you're doing the math, that makes me 77.
Just a young pup there, Don. Just a young pup. But she's beautiful. So this car has been in your family
Since
day one. You're the only family members to have driven it.
I am an only child, so I
wow.
didn't have to share it with anyone.
Did your dad get to drive it?
Oh yes, he drove it quite a bit the first year or so.
Okay.
He traded a 1966 Caprice on it, and then he bought a 1969 Impala Supersport. And we kept this for a driver for my mother.
This is beautiful. Now, this is the original color. It's probably been repainted.
Yes, but things that aren't original, I changed.
Okay.
It is now a 455 cubic inch HO Pontiac engine, and I've put disc brakes on the front, which originally had four-wheel drums.
Really? Okay, so you've done some upgrades to make it more drivable.
And it was also a 2-speed automatic originally. Now it's a 3-speed turbo hydromatic.
Who did all the work? Did you?
I did. The mechanical work I did. I didn't do any of the beautification.
Right.
I have to give full credit for a paint job by a restoration friend of mine and Roy's, is Denton Wright. And he painted, it was painted in 1984.
It's beautiful. This was the last time she was painted?
Yeah, it was only painted once, 1984.
Oh my gosh.
And to give Mother full credit, the interior has not been redone. It is all original seats and carpet and everything in it. Of course, it's only just turned 50,000 miles.
Wow. She's barely getting warm there. And,
yes.
Oh my God. What a stunning machine. So you said you changed the motor on this.
Yes.
Why did you do that?
I'm a North American male and wanted to go faster.
The bigger the better?
And I got a source on a...
Listen, as my wife says, size isn't everything. But anyway, that's a different topic.
Yes, but maybe it is. No, I had a source on a 455 HO out of 73 Trans Am. And because it's dimensionally the same as the 326 engine was originally in it, I didn't have to modify anything to put it in.
So the
It was
the
just
engine
bigger
mount
displacement.
is exactly the same as well, the mounting?
Yes.
Incredible. Can we take a look at the engine?
We can do that.
There's just something so cool about the front end of these. Oh my God. You threw a little bit of bling in there too, sir. Man, oh man. Could you make it any cleaner, for crying out loud?
Well, a friend of mine once asked, how did I keep my car so nice? And I said, it's very simple. Don't use it.
No, seriously, how often do you get to drive her around?
Again, given credit, and it's not a commercial video we're making here,
But go for it.
but a friend of mine, Ronnie Washburn,
Okay.
is, we were discussing him earlier, is a fanatical individual on making things immaculate. He deserves full credit in keeping this car in this condition.
So he does the exterior and the engine bay?
Oh, you leave it very long, and the next thing you know, he's polishing it. And
Good God. I want to meet this fella because I'd like to get some work done. So, wow. Is this the original color that the engines came in, this light green?
It's as close as I could get.
Okay.
It might not be exact. Now, a lot of people that are purists, that Pontiacs in later years were blue, but up till 1967, they were this bad color green.
Really?
And that's as close as I could get to the color. Of the 326 was in it. That's where I actually used pieces off of it to get the color matched.
I didn't realize, but you've also got a combination of the red and the black paint.
The whole car was painted apart.
Oh, I see. And then it was assembled.
And that's why
afterwards.
there's no paint on any of the fasteners.
Got
The
it.
nuts, bolts, clips.
Beautiful.
And if you're going to be negative on this car for originality, which it's not original because the motor and the brakes,
Yeah.
that's painted with black Imra on the inside fender wells. Well, they were never that nice or shiny new,
True.
but it's the way I like it.
For sure. Why not? It's your car. You can do what you want to make you happy. Look at the front end of this. This nose is beautiful.
Yeah.
My God. How much space is there in the trunk there, Don?
Space, well,
What
if
can
you're
you get
putting
in there?
anyone in the back seat, you better have amputees as friends.
Oh, really?
Well,
What can you... No, I'm
It-
talking about
it-
in the trunk.
oh, in the trunk?
Yes. What can,
Well,
what
you'll
can
see
I
my
get?
trunk is absolutely full of junk, but I'll show you anyway. It's not much, especially with the convertible for the space for the top to go down.
Because when that comes down, you're not going to have a lot of space.
No. But I have in here
Oh, yeah. Okay.
folding chairs, and I have the original boot for the top when it's down.
Wow. Very nice. Yeah, so it doesn't go deep. I guess that's where the roof comes down.
Yeah, it's actually a soft canvasing that the top
Beautiful.
fits in.
So speaking of the roof, can we
Sure we can.
down? I'd love to see that. Now, it's not electric, is it?
Yep.
It is.
It was an option.
Oh,
Most of them were mechanical, spring-loaded, but this one does have the optional
power roof.
power top.
Now, when your mom bought this car, was this the top of the line version, or were there still options above this?
There weren't a lot of options in Firebirds except for engines.
Okay.
This had a 320. You could get a 6-cylinder. This was a 326 V8, and it was a 400 V8
Okay.
back in '67.
But in terms of air conditioning, those kinds
Yeah,
of things?
air was an option,
Okay.
and this is deluxe interior, which was an option.
I can't
Just
wait
a
to
little
see
bit
that.
nicer door panels now.
Beautiful, though. Wow, Don. Considering the age of the car.
And that is all original interior. That's Mother's looking after it.
How about that? So this seat has been sat in by your mom, by your dad, and by you. What an absolutely lovely machine. Now, this is a retro style radio, I'm assuming, is it?
That is a retro radio. I still have the original one, but it just had, when it was new, it just had a straight AM radio.
But not on the actual steering column. Like, it's just a Pontiac.
That is a Pontiac emblem too, that V.
Yes, but not the actual same eagle that they've used everywhere else throughout
No.
the car.
And that's the way it came.
Okay.
I don't have an answer for your question why, but it's original steering wheel and column.
It's
And Even the script and the logos on the side came on the car new.
Now these little,
They're not functional.
just decorative, aren't they?
Actually, it's the only thing that separates the rear quarters from a Camaro.
Oh, right.
This
Otherwise,
car
they're
is
very similar,
This
aren't
car
they?
is so
Identical.
similar to a Camaro.
Yes.
With the first years especially.
Now these tires, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
What are the dimensions of these? 14-inch, I'm assuming.
Okay, they're 15s. But that was an option too.
All right.
14s or 15s. And they're standard diameter. I'm not one to put big tires on because you change gear ratios and speedometer readings. So
Right.
their original diameter, they're now radials. So I think they were something like F60 14s or 15s new.
Okay.
These are new dimension sizes.
This interior is beautiful.
And I'm so proud of it because it's never been redone anywhere. Even the carpet's original.
So she's as old as the car. Isn't that
It's what they call parchment.
Really?
That's what Pontiac called it, yeah.
So it's not leather. Is it pleather?
No, vinyl.
Vinyl, it is
Yeah.
vinyl. Okay.
But they didn't call it white. It was parchment. It's kind
The
of a
color.
pearly off-white.
Okay. And now the rear quarter windows are wind down. They're not electric.
Oh,
That's interesting.
that was another option this one did not get. They're wind down.
That is so.
But you could get power windows in the day.
Back in
This
there, too.
car was not ordered by us. It was in stock.
Oh, it was in the
stock.
showroom. So it's sitting
It
there.
was, like I say, they got a convertible and a coupe
Yeah.
when they were first introduced, and this was the convertible that came from GM as a demo model.
This is absolutely gorgeous. Now this center console, again, this is how it was designed.
Oh yeah, that's original.
Man, oh man. And the fake wood, same
Oh no,
idea.
that's right from the factory, yeah.
How many ashtrays does this thing have? 2?
Oh, 1, 2,
Oh, no, a few more.
and there's one in the middle, 3.
3 altogether. Because the rear passengers have to smoke too, right? Wow. Absolutely gorgeous. Should we go for a little drive?
We can do that.
Let's do that, sir. There is something about the sound of that engine, isn't there?
Well, in a lot of ways, there's no replacement for cubic inches.
No, there is not. Absolutely not. You must get a lot of looks when you're driving this thing around, Don.
I do. I've already had several thumbs up this morning, but
Did you really?
as you can tell by the mileage on it, 50,000 in 57 years doesn't get driven a lot
No,
anyway.
it doesn't. I'm just fascinated at the fact that this car has been in your family all these years, since new. I mean, it's so rare that people get a chance to say stuff like that, and to have a piece of art.
Well, you know, there are several times I was very close to selling it, and it seemed like a lot of money at the time, but in the long run, the smartest thing I ever did was holding on to it.
I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. So you're a bit of a car fiend then, aren't
Oh,
you?
yes.
You and Roy.
Yeah, we are. Well, you've seen the shop.
I have indeed. That is no ordinary shop, my friend. You've got just about everything collected that's collectible.
And we also have a lot of tools and nuts and bolts and everything.
You do?
There's people that run a business with less stuff than we've got.
Oh gosh, yes. You have more stuff in your shop than Canadian Tire does. No offense, but no, that's just extraordinary. So you've been a Mississauga boy all your life,
I moved here when it was called Cooksville,
back in the day.
back in the day.
And you asked me a really difficult trivia question.
I did. I
So
said,
do it for the camera now.
when Cooksville, Streetsville, Lakeview, Port Credit all became Mississauga, we had an election, a plebiscite for a name. Mississauga was one name. What was the other name?
So
that lost.
Anybody watching that has the faintest idea what it is, leave a comment, but we're going to give the answer anyway. Go for it.
Well, the other name that lost was Sheridan.
So we could have been called Sheridan.
Yes, we could.
Sheridan, Ontario, instead of Mississauga. Well, you know what? Sheridan would have been easy for everybody to
Yes,
spell. Let's
yeah.
just make it difficult and go with about half the letters in the alphabet in Mississauga. So, beautiful. So where did you live before you moved to...
I wasn't far away. I was a Mimico boy in
yes.
Etobicoke.
Yep, very good.
And my parents were both born and raised in Mimico, so we haven't traveled too far.
Very good. That's interesting. Why the passion for cars? Like, you've always been a car person?
Yes, I would think so.
Would you blame your mom for starting that?
No, actually, it was my paternal grandfather.
Oh, yes.
He was a nice old fella that if something wasn't broken, I think he'd intentionally break it so he could fix it.
Just to see how it all went together again.
And he was a car guy, and I kind of followed him along. My father didn't. It kind of skipped a generation.
Right. So, like Roy, I'm assuming you're retired now too.
Oh, yes.
At an early age, at 70. What did you say it was?
77.
77. Just a young pup.
I'm just a young guy compared to Roy, who we just saw. He's 81.
Good God. But he looks good still.
He is. What
did you do before you retired then?
I was in construction equipment business.
Okay.
We had a dealership there. We bought, sold, serviced bulldozers and excavators and that kind of stuff.
And that business was in Toronto as well?
Yes, it was.
Nice.
In Rexdale. Case Power and Equipment is who I work for.
Okay. Now they're still around.
J.I. Case, yes.
Wow. Now, do you have children?
No children at all.
Okay.
I'm the only child of an only child and no children.
Right. So who's going to look after these beautiful toys of yours then?
Oh, yeah. And don't you start now, Kevin,
no,
because a lot of people want me to adopt them.
I'm just saying.
And I'm not adopting you.
No, but if you're looking for the correct spelling of my name, I'll write it down for you. To make
No,
sure
no, it's quite
that
all
when
right.
you do your will there, you don't make a mistake, right? Because I'd hate to lose out on a keychain or something from your collection. But you know what? Why the hell not? Enjoy life, do what you can, make the most of it.
Yeah.
Life is too short.
I seem to get along. I have good friends in Roy and other folks, but I'm also a widower, so I have a pretty short Christmas card list.
I bet. So this collection thing that you started with Roy, and I'll put a link on the video for that, because that is just an extraordinary thing, a set of things that you guys have collected over the years.
Yeah.
Who's worse at, sort of saying, oh, we should start collecting this, or let's start collecting, I don't know, keychains now. Like, who started that?
Yeah, and portable radios and oil cans.
Yes. And every Canadian tire truck ever made.
Yeah. I think both of us are warped with the same stick.
Really?
Yeah.
So guilty.
Oh, he'll come up with one, and I'll come up with one, and.
Well, what is
and
that?
as I say, it's a lot.
Was that the El Camino? Looked like that.
I thought it was a convertible with no top, but anyway, it's a Chevelle.
Anyway, sorry, you were saying. I got sidetracked. I get doing that a lot.
That's
so
all
your collection thing. So then you ended up started collecting. You have all this stuff. You got
like I think I started on the beer taps.
Ah, okay. Why you have a
but
sort of thing
once
about
we got
beer
there, everywhere Roy went, he bought one and I bought one. So it was kind of a communal thing.
It just started, right?
Yeah. There was no plan to it all. It just happened.
There is something magical about the sound of this engine, even when we're idle.
But again, I think a lot of it is the displacement.
Yeah.
Big blocks make a deeper sound, right?
For sure. Who needs bass speakers when you got this to deal with? Incredible.
Well, to tell you a little story.
Go for it.
I was driving in my subdivision with the top down one day, and here I was with the old vent windows,
Yeah.
And I was playing the role like this and everything else. Two very attractive young girls walking along the sidewalk, and I pulled up beside them and gave them a look. And I overheard one say to the other, "Oh, it's an old guy." They hurt me deep.
Oh my God. All of a sudden the smile faded a little bit.
I wanted to put the top up right away.
Yeah, I got that too. Yeah, don't you worry. Oh, well. Yeah, nice car. Shame it's an old guy kind of thing, right? Well, you can't have it all. I was just about to ask you. She loves to go.
Yeah.
What
it's fairly lightweight too. So.
Yeah, especially without the top. But
I had the engine built
Okay.
very softly. It's not high compression, so I can use the junk gas we have to buy nowadays.
Right.
So it's not exotic, it's just big.
So it is premium unleaded that you use, I'm
Yes.
assuming?
But it's about 9.5 to 1, and back in the old days, that was low compression.
Yes. But you don't get any knocking sounds, you don't get any issues, eh? It seems to not add any octane or anything to it?
No, well, I know enough about engines that I played with the timing enough. When I did have some pinging, knocking going on, I adjusted the timing, took some timing out of it. So it's not tuned for most horsepower, it's tuned to be practical.
Right. Good for you. So now you have a number of different cars. Are you still kind of always on the prowl for another one? Or
Yes,
are you? What's
to
your,
a point.
What's your dream car? Well, not dream. What car would you go and get next?
It doesn't. Well, you remember the song, because I own 2 of them in my past, is She's Real Fine, my 409. I love those things.
Actually,
They were just tremendously fast, extremely unreliable.
right. But
just because they were famous and I had them before, if I ever found one, the trouble is they're so rare now, the prices got totally out of hand.
Okay.
So I think I'll be happy with what I got.
All right. But you will make space in your little garage if you had to,
If I
the
had
right
to,
one came
yeah.
along. So Don, what was the very first car you ever drove?
I got from my paternal grandfather a 1956 Pontiac that he had from new, and he bought a new car, and it only had 19,000 miles on it.
Wow.
And for all they were going to give him a trade-in, he says, I'm not going to give you that for whatever they're offering.
Right.
He says, I'm going to give it to my grandson.
Good for you.
And that was my first car, a 56 Pontiac.
And that was a sedan? Four-door?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
But it was a V8 with 3 on the tree,
Oh, yeah.
which in its day was pretty good.
Absolutely. And good size to get all your friends in as you're the talk of the town in the high school. I
yeah,
guess.
well, I was still in high school then.
Yeah. The most popular kid there.
Yeah, and of course, had to have the real loud mufflers on.
Oh, gosh, yes. Oh, look, there must be a shop class here or something. Bits of cars right there.
Yeah.
Including an old vet.
Well, I guess they have to teach kids that nowadays.
I'm glad they do.
Yeah.
I'm glad they do. It's where they learn their passion, or hopefully get hooked on cars as well, and especially the old school kind of cars, and like modern day things where so much of it is modular or interchangeable.
But these things are so simple compared to the new ones.
Yeah, definitely. The engine alone, what a sound. Just priceless. Because now,
Oh, you can see what you're getting there?
yes. So we're going to be looking here. Oops. Well, whatever. I'm going to record, so let's see what I can get. Man, oh man.
You're going to edit it all anyway, aren't you?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I'm just saying it's... Can you see what I mean?
I can on this little device because it's just too bright outside.
Yeah, and it's also black too without... Yeah.
But when I transfer this over to my computer, then I can brighten it. Well, Don, this has been a blast. Thank
glad
you
you
so
enjoyed it.
much. Thank you so much for coming out, meeting with me today. We found a lovely spot after all, so it
Yes,
worked
we
out
did.
beautifully. And thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. And sharing your story and your passion and how this car that was owned by your mom, it's still owned by you and the family, and that's priceless. Good for you. Thank you.
You're quite welcome.